Hello there. In this video, I'm going to continue from where I have stopped last time. In part 1, we have successfully completed our directory setup for our projects and we have uploaded on GitHub. In part 2, I'm going to start building the user interface, but this is going to be a big module, so I have also divided it into many subparts. The first part is about solving the error and updating your project for working with the latest version. The first of the error you can get is while you create the project, you may get an archetype related problem. So how to solve that archetype related problem is pretty easy, because most of the time it is because of incomplete downloads from the remote repository, because every file that you use inside Maven gets downloaded from a remote location and it is stored inside the local machine. So where it is stored? So it is stored inside the users directory, the users of the machine. So my user is this one, and inside this user there is an m2 directory. So all you need to do is to find the location. So for finding the location, you need to go with group ID and artifact ID. So the group ID was org.apache. Inside Apache Maven, there is this archetypes folder. So org Apache Maven archetypes, and you can delete this folder, okay, and try to recreate that project. Next time it may probably download the complete from the remote repository and you will get that project created successfully, so you won't get any error. So this was about how to delete any incomplete downloads from your remote repository to your local machine. So you can simply find through group ID, artifact ID, and you can delete that thing. It will again be downloaded from you from the remote repository. So once this is done, so when I created this project, I started getting this X symbol. X means there is some error in my project, so I need to solve this thing. So how can I solve this thing? You can go to Window, Show View, and you can click on marker to read what is the error that it is showing. So you can click on this marker, or there is marker which is already opened here in my sidebar. So it is showing me, okay, the superclass HTTP servlet was not found on the Java build path. So this is the build part, and there are various jar which has been added to your build path. So you can see in libraries there is this JRE system library and there is Maven dependency. Now you can simply add the Apache Tomcat runtime environment, but I don't prefer using Apache Tomcat runtime environment because I may shift to Jetty or Glassfish or any other server. So what I will do, I will add the Java EE API. The reason of adding a Java EE API because servlet and JSP is part of your Java EE API. So I'm going to add that thing, and later if you want to use email and persistence and all those things, it's always better to add the Java EE API. But how can you add the Java EE API? And remember, Java EE API is provided by the web container. So I'm not keeping it specific to Apache Tomcat. I am adding the generic one, that is the Java EE API. So how can I add that one? So you are supposed to work with the pom.xml file, because we have created a Maven web app project. So once you click on pom.xml file, it will open this type of a view. Okay, now there is this tab called as dependency, where you can add that dependency. So group ID, artifact ID, version. Okay, so I'm not going to add it through this one. I'm going to code inside my pom.xml file. So pom stands for project object model. Okay, so as you can see, there is already this jar is available. And why we add this dependency? First of all, we add this dependency so that we don't have to go to online, manually download it and copy paste it here. That's why we are using this Maven project, so that it gets downloaded automatically for us. So how can I add that Java EE API? First of all, let me comment this thing. I'm going to call it, this is dependency for JUnit. I'm going to add the Java EE API. So I'm going to take this approach only one time. Later on, since I remember most of the repository, wherever required, I may go to Maven repository website and fetch what is the dependency that is available for me. So I'll go to this Maven repository website, mvnrepository.com, Java EE API. So I'm going to use the latest one, that is 7, which is available here. I'm going to click this one and I'm going to copy this. So it is copied to clipboard just on clicking it, and I am going to paste it here. I'm just removing this comment, I don't require that one. Now you can format this thing by using Ctrl Shift F, so automatically everything gets formatted. Now, as I told, this is provided by your container, so I'm going to provide a scope as provided. Now this version, now later on the version may change, so how can you add this version at only one single place and it should be get it updated automatically? So you're going to create another element called as properties, and I'm going to say this is my java ee dot version. The version is 7.0. You have to use as it is whatever written here, and instead of writing 7.0 directly, I'm going to refer to this specific tag here. So I'm going to copy this java e version, place it inside a curly braces and paste it here. Once this is done, I'm going to save it. You can see in my Maven dependency now the Java E API along with Java XMail and activation has been added inside this. Because Java E API require all these jars also, so it has automatically added those jars inside my Maven dependencies. So as I saved, the X symbol is gone. You can open the marker, and now there is no build path problem which is available here. So this is how we have solved this superclass, that is HTTP servlet problem. Now we will be using all the latest configuration to work in our project. So first we are going to change the version of Java that we are going to use. So if you can see the Eclipse IDE here, it is showing me J2SE 1.5, which will deprive us of using the latest features in your new Java version. Similarly, you can see in your backend project it is Java J2SE 1.5. So I am not going to use the J2SE 1.5. Instead of that, I am going to update it for my latest version. So how can you update that thing? So for updating that one, you can go to effective form and search for Maven compiler plugin. Okay. Now here you can copy from this plugin to version. I've copied it. I'm going to open my pom.xml file. Inside this build, I'm going to add a plugins. Inside this plugin, I'm going to copy that plugin and I'm going to close this plugin and add your version inside the configuration. Provide it as source 1.8 and target as 1.8. Okay, so this is how you're going to update to latest version of Java, because I have 1.8 installed, that's why I've written here 1.8. Now still you can see this is J2SE 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to right click and do a Maven update just to show you how it updates that thing. It has become now Java SE 1.8. Similarly, I'm going to do it in my backend project. I'm just simply going to copy this entire thing, these plugins, open my pom.xml file inside my backend project. Since there are no build which is available here, so I'm going to simply create another build element and paste it here. If you need to format your code, simply Control Shift F, save, right click, do a Maven update. So you can see it has become now Java SE 1.8 and no errors are there. But I have started getting one of the error. So I'm simply going to open marker. You can see this Java server Facet 2.2 cannot be installed and it requires a web module of 2.5 or newer. So how can I solve this thing? So first of all, I'm going to change my web.xml file. Now there is a shortcut in Eclipse, Control Shift R, that will open this type of view, and I'm going to open the web.xml file. Now this web module is based on 2.3. Now I need to change this and I'm going to work with the latest version. So for that, I'm going to go and search for web.xml on mkong. Now mkong is a great resource for working with Spring. So I'm going to open this web.xml mkong website. There is this descriptor which is available here, this web app with the one. So first of all, I'm going to copy this thing, open this one, and from web app So this thing I'm going to change it from web app to web app, and the version is 3.1, and save it. Okay, now after doing that, changing it to 3.1, which requires a newer model than 1.5, so 1 has been changed, still getting this error. So how to solve that error? So you will get an error, version mismatch, as I told you. So you need simply click to right click on your project. So I'm going to right click on my project, go to properties. There is this option called as project facets. I'm going to open this one, and there is this dynamic web module which is showing as 2.3. So I simply have to uncheck it. You don't have to select any dynamic web module, remember that. You simply uncheck it. Make sure your Java version is the one which you have specified in your source and target, which is there. You simply click on apply, click on OK. Again go to here, right click, go to Maven and update project. Okay, now if I open this marker, you can see the errors are gone. So there are no errors. And now let me show you that project facets again, what it shows now. Properties, project facets. See, it has automatically read your web.xml file and it has already added your 3.1. If you manually try to change it to 3.1, it won't do that. So it is not possible. So you let Maven allow it to change the configuration here as 3.1. Okay, so now there are no errors in this project. So I've already changed my Java version to 1.8 and I've changed my servlet version as well to 3.1. So now in my next part I'm going to add a Spring dependency and we'll try to print a message from our controller, and we'll be creating a view also. So thanks for watching.